Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Excuse me. So I want to kickstart Colour Christmas with me. And I've been trawling through my colouring books, and you'll be surprised just how many pages for Christmas there are in books you wouldn't expect. And Botanicum is one of them, by the wonderful Trolle. And I don't think I've coloured in this one. If I have, it's not much. Anyway, so if you flick to the back of the book, this one, there's 2 Christmas pages here, and I thought we'd have a look at this wreath. The paper in here is quite smooth, so I am going to use my polychromos with this, but we'll see. I need to play with the background, and I've promised people that I will use the mica powder paints that Kevin sent me. Not paints, powders that Kevin sent me, but I don't know if it'll be fitting for this page. So we're just gonna play and see. But I was really pleased to find this page in this beautiful book. It's so gorgeous. I think I have started one somewhere. Yeah, with Pablo's. I've written the colour combinations down so I can finish it, but anyway, because the paper is very smooth, a harder pencil usually works a bit better for me. So I've got a selection of greens by the side of me ready to go, so I'm not holding us all up. So if we come in, I am going to focus on the pine part of the wreath. I'm just going to sharpen this one pencil, then we can get going. Sorry about that. Just noticed that was the only one that I hadn't sharpened. Okay, so if we lift them up, I can bring them in and show you, as best I can, the colour order that I'm going to use. Just going to line them up. Polychromos aren't the easiest pencils to show up on camera because of the beautiful gold writing, but I will do my best. So, there we go. So we've got chrome oxide green, that's going to be our darkest. Then we've got pine green, of course. Then we've got juniper green, which is a gorgeous colour. Then we've got permanent green olive and earth green yellowish, just for a bit of interest in there. So I am going to, unusually for me, take my darkest colour, which is chrome oxide green. When my camera wants to play, there we go. And I am going to take it, let's do this one. I'm going to take it up the centre of this sprig of pine, so we get that nice and dark. And then I'll go in with the next colour down, which is pine green, and we'll blend those two together for that centre. So we've got a nice dark centre. And then we're going to play with these colours. So I'm going to come in with our darkest, which is chrome oxide green. I'm just going to pick one, and I'm going to add a little bit of colour there. The next one down, which is pine green. You'll see how this is going to go, very easy. Juniper green. And blend that one in, and then our permanent green olive for that one there. Now we can go over with the gorgeous earth green yellowish, and then I'm going to mix that up. So I'm going to take out the 2 darkest colours, and I'm going to do the 3 on the lighter end of the scale. So juniper green, let's pick one. Let's do over here. Polys work beautifully on this paper, they really do. So sorry, that was permanent green olive, and then earth green yellowish. And just randomly do that. So I'm taking those 3, the light ones we just used, and I'm just going to pick some branches, or needles in this case, and randomly dot those in. Nothing technical, nothing really overwhelmingly special about it, but it will look very effective. And we're going to dot those in wherever we think, and then we'll mix that in with the darker combination that we used to start with. It just gives us a little bit of interest, and you can add less of the darkest juniper green. Let's do that here, just at the base, less of the permanent green olive and more of the earth green yellowish. There. And then go back to our darker combination, so the juniper will come in there again. Chrome oxide green, so let's do that one. Chrome oxide green, then we've got pine green, do that one, and then the juniper green, just so that we get some dark and some lighter. Just going to go back over that again. Literally, that is it. You can mix your colour combos about. They don't have to be how I've done them. We could even make some, because it's pine and it's going to look different, we could even just have some really lighter ones, like here at the top, towards the top, just using the permanent green olive and the earth green yellowish. So just vary it, and it gives a really good appearance. There. And that, my lovelies, is it. Just play with the colour combos, mix the greens up so they're not all looking the same combo, and we'll have a wreath. So I am going to go off and complete the mammoth task of colouring in all this green. But the reason I'm doing that is, if you come out and look, once all the green is filled in, which is the majority of our page, the rest of it will be easier to distinguish, choose the colours we want, and I'm going to stick to traditional greens and reds and some earth tones in here, and then we're going to add sparkle and hopefully a gorgeous background. Alright, I'll see you in a second. Right, so I finished all the pine, and I added, just at the tops of each of the, on the edges where it might be lightest, I added May green and a little tiny bit of, I can get that to focus for you, cadmium yellow lemon. Just so that, just tidy my desk up, towards the edges we've got a little bit of highlight. So nothing different, but I just randomly put that in at the tops. Okay, then the next thing I did is thought, oh, what are we going to do for this background? So I took a trusty old compass and I've kind of made a circle around the whole image. I don't know if you can pick that up. It's just very faint. And I am going to Poscarize this page in black. But the trouble is we've got so many fine details in here that I'm going to have to mix it up. So I've got a fat Posca, which is, let me get it in focus for you, there, bullet shaped nib, so that'll give me my edge, which is this one. Then I've got the next one down, well, a tiny one, which is the 0.7mm, which has got that nib on it. And then just a black jelly roll. Now if your hand is steady, which mine isn't, you could paint, but I don't have a steady hand. So I took a scrap piece of paper, which I've been testing colours and things on, and tested all three of them against each other to see, you know how sometimes you get different blacks and they act differently and you can see it on your page? Well, there is the jelly roll. This little bit sticking out is the tiny Posca pen, and that fat bit is the fat pen. And I think, actually, even if I hold it in my light, we're not going to get that much of a difference. So I'm going to take my jelly roll, and I'm risking it now, because if I fluff the page up, let's come in. I'm going to take my jelly roll and I'm going to go in, I'm going to make sure it's working, and I'm going to go in all the, now I'm not bothered about this paper coping with what we're going to throw at it because it's like cardstock, it's gorgeous. So I'm going to go in between, see, even with the jelly roll I'm shaky, all these tiny spaces and make them black. It's going to take some time, but I think it'll be worth it because I think what will happen is the colours, when we glitter and stuff, the colours are really going to pop out. So just filling in those spaces there, and it'll all unify. It looks a bit crappy at the minute, but it will unify when the whole circle in the background is black. Now if I was any good at drawing, I'd like to have drawn like a letterbox down here and a door, but I'm not, so, but it would have been nice to have it as a hanging wreath. Okay, so I'm not going to make you sit and suffer while I colour with a jelly roll in these tiny little spaces, because that would be as boring as hell. And my eyesight's not that good, so there'll be gaps in there that I'm going to have to, well, I say I've got glasses, but I have to like sit back and look at it to see if there's any gaps in there, like there. And this is quite a fine jelly roll pen, so just take your time. Got to fill it in slowly. Then if I lean back, I can see where I haven't coloured. So this one, this big fat one, is going to do that circle around the edge. Now I'm tempted to actually make a template and put it down so that I get the circle, but what I will do is go off, get that black background finished, and then we're going to come back and do all the goody stuff like the colours, get it, pick it up, get the glitters and whatever else we're going to do to really bring it alive. Alright, I'll see you in a second. Okay, so my labour of love is complete. Now no doubt, knowing me, that when we start colouring the rest of the page I'm going to notice bits of black that need filling in. So I have my jelly roll to hand ready. So, I want to do I want to show you what I did actually, because to get the circle round the edge, like I was telling you, I literally just drew like half a circle, semicircle almost, that fit the edge, and I put this template over the top and ran my big Posca around it, and then turned it round and did the base. So it's not the crispest edge, but I'm pleased with how it looks, and I really think it brings that green out much more than we had it before. So we're going to have a look at these red berries and a red bow. Now this star in the heart I'm going to do in glitter gel pen. We've got to have glitter, haven't we folks? It's Christmas. And the bow, like I say, is going to be red. So these are the reds that I've chosen. Let me get them lined up. I've got Posca and jelly roll and whatever else all over my hands from doing it. It took forever getting in between all those little pine needles. Okay, so we've got dark red, middle cadmium red, deep red and scarlet red. There we go. Okay, so I'm actually going to start with the scarlet red. Where should we start? I don't know. Here's good. Let's just start here. So I'm going to coat the whole berry in scarlet red. We can go back in and add highlights if we want to. So scarlet red, and then I'm going to start with my darkest, which is the deep red. And around the base here, I'm going to put in the deep red. Then we're going to go in with middle cadmium red. Go over everything that we've just coloured. Then we're going to go in with the deep red. So sorry, that first one wasn't deep red. It was dark red. I apologise. We'll do another one. Okay, so this one's deep red. And then we're going to go back over the whole thing with the scarlet red. You need to come in a little bit further, I think. There. I'm going to go back over this. There's a few lines in it, but I want to get the video out to you. So, there, one dark berry. So let's start again. So we are going to use dark red. There you go, which is our base. I've done that wrong because I didn't put my scarlet red on first, but it doesn't matter, we'll go over it. Scarlet red. There we go, scarlet red. Then we're going to take cadmium, middle cadmium red. I hope I'm not confusing you, keep getting things wrong. And then deep red. And then just back over the whole thing with our lightest colour. Let's do one more because I keep fluffing up. Scarlet red. It wouldn't be Lucy's channel, would it, if everything went smoothly. This is the reality of colouring, folks. Fluffing up. There, scarlet red. Then we'll go in with our dark red. Oh dear me. It's what makes it fun, because you just never know what's coming. Middle cad red. Then our deep red. Finally, she manages to tell you in the right order. And then the scarlet red. Now we can go in with a little bit of gel pen and give them a highlight. Otherwise they're going to be looking a little flat. Excuse me. Now they're also the colours that we're going to, let me tip you slightly. They're also the colours we're going to use for the bow. That was my cup of tea. Gosh, the professionalism is overwhelming this evening, isn't it? You can tell, can't you, folks, that I'm a trained movie maker. Joking. Alright, so I want the outside edge here to be gold, and we'll do that in our gel pen. And the rest of the bow is going to be in the reds that we just used. So I'm going to take scarlet red, which is our lightest, and we're going to do a coating of scarlet red. There we are. Now you can see where the lines are, and I'm not particularly good at doing shadows and light sources. So I am going to go in where Maria has given us dark lines, and I'm going with that as my darks. So I'm just going to sharpen my pencil quick, just 2 turns, just to give it a nice point. So we're going to our deepest colour, which is the dark red. And I'm going to come up here where it is going to be behind this front piece of ribbon and make that darkest, and let that fade in. And then here where it dips in the centre, I'm going to put that dark red there too, and then let that fade out so that we've got something to blend into. Then I'm taking cadmium red, same order, coming up where those lines are. Gonna let that fade out. And then our next colour is deep red. Going over all of that, coming down into the centre, and then I'm going to go back to our scarlet red and go over the whole thing. Now we can, to even darken that up further, let's have a look. Now I'm going to take a sharp black, and then just in this deep, very lightly, in this really deep area here, and this area where it dips, just lightly, going in with a little bit of black, and then I'll go back to our darkest red, which is dark red, and go over that. And that should just help us give the illusion of depth in that bow where the darkest spots are. And then just go back again with our colours in the same order. I haven't worked with polys for a while now, and I forget what a beautiful pencil they are to work with. They work particularly well on smooth paper. This is very smooth, this paper. But yeah, I really like that. Look at that. Where is anything? Just trying to find my little brush. So, okay. This bit's going to be much darker, but we're still going to do the same. I'm going to take my scarlet and come in here. Just because we'll still want a fairly light edge here. Not as light, but... So I'm just coating that. Because this is the inside of the ribbon. If you imagine that bow being tied, that's the inside. So then we're going to go in with our dark red, and up here this is going to be particularly dark. So I will go in with a bit of black there. And then our middle cadmium red. And then I'm going to cover that scarlet with the deep red. Okay. I'm not too fussed about my having gone into this line. Like I said, that will be, I'm thinking gold gel pen actually. So I'm taking the black and I'm going to deepen up, really darken up that edge. And I'm just really lightly doing this. It'll give us that really deep, rich tone that I want. And then I'm going back in with our darkest colour again. And can you see the difference that putting that little bit of black makes? Ooh, my eyesight's all funny. It's from doing this this black. It's made my eyes all skewy. Okay, over that whole thing with the next colour. And then we'll take deep red and go over the whole thing again. And just in case you're wondering, Posca does not go through the page. Here's the page beyond, and there is not a thing, not a shadow, nothing, in case you didn't know. So, shall I do another bit with you? I don't know if you need me to, but shall we do another one together? We might as well, haven't we? That was a sip of tea break. Okay. So I'm going to do this one. I'm coating it with... Actually, we could do this centrepiece together, couldn't we? So Scarlet Red, our pale colour. Just get that laid down. Then I go in with my darks. Now here, it's folded inwards. Well, it's creased inwards. So that's going to be darker. So I'm just working in the same order as I was. And each layer I go back over what I've already coloured. Okay, I'm going to take a tiny bit of black to increase that shadow and crease. And then go back in with our reds. Do it again. From darkest again to lightest. It's a very clever trick, you know, using this black. Just a light coating of black to give us some real depth. And I suppose the same principle applies if you use white and you want highlights. Only it's more difficult to achieve. I think anyway. Okay, there's the centre. Let's do this one. Just because it's fun and I'm enjoying it. And then you can see you've probably got the gist of how it's working. So I always start with the lightest and then build up the colour, and that is simply because it's so easy to get a coat of pencil down. I'm just trying to raise that bit in there. It won't matter because I am putting gel pen on it, but sometimes the gel pen will resist over oil pencil, so it's worth if you can rub it out to erase it. Yeah, so I always do the lightest coat first because it gives you a base of the pencil. And in my opinion, and that's only my opinion, it makes blending easier because you've already got a smoother base to work with. I don't know if I'm making any sense, but so I'm going in with the dark again, but that's my theory, and it's always seemed to work for me. Whereas if you go in with the dark first, there's not as much room for movement of your colours when you're blending. I hope that kind of makes sense, folks. That's my experience. I mean, you might be completely different. Don't shout at me if you don't agree, because people, you know, everyone's different, and that's good. You know, you have to, with colouring, I think you have to find your own techniques. You can watch videos and it's lovely. I love watching them too, very relaxing. But you do need to find your own style, and you will. Okay, and I'm going in with next to lightest colour. I mean, when I first started any form of colouring, I nearly gave up because I watched tutorial after tutorial and mine never looked like theirs, and it looked like a primary school kid's work to me. Sometimes still does. And yeah, it's just keeping going, just keep practicing, don't let yourself give up. The black again into our darkest areas, just lightly into our darkest areas where there's creases. And we'll go back over. Go back over with all our colours. And I think that's really effective. Very easy but effective trick. Especially with the polys because they layer beautifully. So you can do that black and it will knock that black back and just appear like a very dark version of the colour that you're using. Gone over again. Such a klutz. I was brought this electric eraser because excuse me, the lovely kind person that brought it for me understood about shaky hands, and it has been a game changer for me. I love it. I use it regularly. Okay, so that's berries and bows. Let's come back out. So, in true Lucy Just Adds Colour style, I will not keep you sitting here for 4 hours while I colour every berry or the rest of the bow, because you get how it works. So I'll go off and I will finish those and we'll come on and do the next element. See you in a second. Okay, so I finished the berries and the bow, and I'm loving how this page is turning out. Now I haven't put any highlight in them because I'm not sure whether they're going to be stickled or what I'm going to do with them at the minute. So I thought we'd have a look at these pine cones. And I've got 4 colours out at the moment. I'm just turning them around so that you can see what they are. They'll get shorter as they go along. How cool is that? If we come in, we're going to focus on... Let's try this one to start with. So, let's get these colours for you. Come on, camera. Okay, so I've got the very dark burnt umber, bistre, brown ochre, and possibly a bit of ivory for the edges. So that's the order in which we are going to do them. I am just going to give them a turn in my sharpener. Should have done this before, sorry. Just because these are tiny spaces and I need a bit more of a point. That's the one lovely thing about polys, isn't it? Is that you can get that gorgeous point and it stays. Sorry. Dial 133 working overtime. Gotta love the Dial 133, I do love it. Which I'm talking about is my gorgeous pencil sharpener. I love it. It's very good. Okay. So, making sure that you're in focus, and let's go. Right, now I'm going to break the rules here and I'm going to go from darkest to lightest. And I'm going to start on this little section here, and I'm taking the burnt umber and I'm going to do the darkest spot. And the reason why I've chosen this cone first as opposed to this one is this has got an edge on it. You see, like that frilly edge on there. So I did pick out Posca Ivory, or is it Posca Beige, just in case. Beige, just a normal Posca, but we'll see. So that was burnt umber. Now I'm going to go in with Bister. And let's just see what happens. Because this is a closed one, we can get away with it being dark. And then the brown ochre, which will lighten it all up. Okay, I think that looks quite good. And then I'm going to use a tiny tad of the ivory, which is my tiny little pencil. And just go back in. Okay, so back in again. Let's really darken up that bit there. Just the same colours. Just so we get that lovely tone. And I'm just going to leave the tip where we put that ivory. I think that works. What do you think? I like it. So we'll carry on. And we're going to have to do that one differently. Because I want those edges lighter. So I'm not sure yet. I'm just really deepening up that join where they lap over each other. I don't know what they're called. There we go. Bit of I think that looks. There we go. Okay, and then back in, darken it up even further. I am going to put some black in there too. But I think that's quite effective. That'll be okay. That's quite a good combo. Okay, let's get that's my black. I'm going to give that a sharpen. Because I just want that very bottom bit really dark. There we go. And then back in with our burnt umber. I'll just blend that in. Now, again, this is going to be another element that's going to take some time for me to colour in. But I've really enjoyed doing this page and I'm loving... Oh, my fault, I was pressing too hard. And I'm loving how the page is turning out. I think that's going to look really effective when that's done. I'm going to go back in that top bit with a little bit of cream. And there. Okay, so I don't know how to do this one. I'm thinking, because it's such a tiny space, we're not going to have much room for blending. So what I'm thinking is we go in with the burnt umber. I might just bring you in a tiny bit closer just so you can really see this one, because it is so tiny. And then, so what I might do is like burnt umber here. And then the Bister for these bits. And then, so like here, burnt umber, Bister. And then this bit is going to be the brown ochre. This, you know, this little like frill around here. And then cream. And then, I don't know if that's going to work, but we might need to darken that up so that that shows out. Put that cream back round there. For that little frill. So I might actually even take the Bister away and just do the I don't know, let's try around here, because once I get that burnt umber there, that's going to highlight that little frill. Oh, I don't know, it's so complicated colouring. Why? So let's put the bistre in, and then we'll do the, what colour is this? Brown ochre. Just going to put it in lightly, and then get the cream. Yeah, I think that'll work. As long as we keep that bit by the little frilly bit dark, I think that'll work. What do you think? Yeah, okay. So we'll do one more together. So I'm going to do that centrepiece really dark. So I'm going to avoid that, what I call the little, well, the frilly bit, I'm calling it is the outside bit, the top of the cone. And then that's going to have the brown ochre in it and cream. And then we're going to make sure that little bit is dark in there. There. Alright, so that's how they're going to be done. I'm quite pleased with it. If I come back out, because all you can see, oops, sorry about the wobble, all you can see is the glare of this stupid light. Okay. Oh, I love this page. I think it's gorgeous. I'm so happy that I found it. I'm sorry that there's such a, even with the polys in this, the lighting, there's quite a glare, but yeah, loving it, loving it. So, everyone, let's go off, finish the pine cones, which is, I have no idea how long that's going to take, but it's an enjoyable process. And I'm still tempted with the beige Posca, but let me colour everything and see how I go, you know. Alright, I'll see you in a second. Okay, so we're really on the home straight now. I will lift it up just so you can see. I'm really pleased with how the pine cones came out. They look really effective on the page, and I think the picture is really lifted by that black background. Now we've got a few other things to consider. Obviously our birdies, which I haven't even thought about really yet. We've got, some of these are branches. Now the sticks that have got the berries on, I'm going to do in, I think I'm going to do in gel pen, and I'm going to do them silver. But we do have some actual branches. Not many, but we have some. So let's come in and have a look. Like here, if we look, I think these are little robins. It's probably how I'm going to colour them. I just want to do these branches, which won't take us 2 minutes. So I've just got 3 colours, nice and easy. I've got walnut brown, Van Dyke brown and nugget. Another great mix. Okay. I'm just making sure that you're in shot so that if I leave the page alone, I know you can see. So I'm going to take the walnut brown and I'm going to go at one edge of this branch. So you see the sticks that the berries go to, I'm going to do them silver, like they've been a fake display, you know, because we've got these little mushrooms. It is like it's been decorated. Not everything is going to be real looking on them. So I've just chosen one side to go up with this dark brown, or walnut brown rather. And there's a little bit of branch there. Just so that we've got some different brown other than our pine cones. Now I'm going to go in with Van Dyke brown. And we are just going to go over that and bring it out a little bit further. This gives us a lovely, rich, dark tone. And then just leaving, I'm just leaving a little gap to go in with nugget. There. And fill the rest of that branch in. My husband brought me some... Oh, sorry. I know that's cringy for people. My husband brought me some flowers one Christmas, and they had these little fake berries on, which is why I want to do the sprigs in silver. Yeah, and then we haven't got too much brown going on. Okay, we've got another branch over here, and you can see the difference. Like, even the little mushrooms are on these sticks up there and here, so that's why I'm thinking I'm going to put them on like a fake stem, but the pine cones are obviously wound into the actual wreath. That's my thinking. I know I don't always make a lot of sense, but that's my thinking. I've really enjoyed this page, and I'm so glad I thought to... I mean, I've got Christmas books, dedicated to Christmas books, you know, but I'm so glad that I thought to have a look through my stash of books to see what there was available Christmas wise, just so we have some variety, you know, because you can kind of get stuck colouring the same pictures otherwise. So they'll either be silver sticks or gold sticks. I'm not sure, because I'm not sure that if I wanted gold round the ribbon, that might clash a little bit, mightn't it? So they might be gold, we'll see. There's another little one down here. So there's one here. And this little one here. Which is not going to take us 2 minutes. There we go. I think that's the branches complete. Let me just bring you out so you're not staring at while I try and work it out. I think that's all there was. Okay. So, the little mushrooms that are fake. If we come down here and look at these three, that would make sense. All in a row. Sorry, I keep bringing you in and out, but I don't want you staring at sorry, that's me reaching for my tea. I don't want you staring at a close-up of nothingness. Okay. 3 colours for this, nice and simple. What have I got? I'm just trying to line them up for you so you can see. So I've got Ivory, Bister and Warm Grey. Is that 2? I think it is. Is it 2? My eyesight is terrible. Yeah, Warm Grey 2. I'll have to lift it up to the camera to see. So, on the little base of the mushroom, I'm going to take the Bister and just underneath, I'm just doing it lightly, underneath and around the side of his little base, I'm going to put the Bister, then I'm going to put the Warm Grey 2. It is Warm Grey 2, isn't it? Yeah. I'm going to blend that in together so we get a nice sort of beigey tone. And then I'm just going to go over with cream, just because it helps to blend it through. We're not going for realism here on this. They are little fake mushrooms, otherwise they'd be a lot bigger. In my mind anyway. Okay, We'll do that again. So that's Bista. We'll come under the top, around the side. Really let it fade out because we've got to blend it into that very dark, that very pale grey. So warm grey 2. And then the cream. Is it cream? No, it's ivory even. There we go. And it just gives us a nice mushroomy base. So I'll finish this one and then we can have a look at the tops. Now I've got reds everywhere, I know. So they are going to be red for tradition, but I'm going to put a bit of orange in there. Just so we lift that up a little bit. Just my ivory. I'm going to go back in with my warm grey over all of them. There. Really, really simple. I hope you can pick up on that colour. The lighting in here at night time is awful. So I've sharpened these ready. Now we have used both these colours on the berries, but I've introduced an orange. So we've got deep red, scarlet red and dark cadmium orange. So I'm just hoping this works. There's not a lot of space and with my shaky hands it's quite difficult. But if I go over, we can just use a gel pen to put the little white bits back in. So I'm going to take deep red. Let my camera refocus. And I'm going to go round the bottom with our deep red. I don't want to come up too far because I want that orange in this one. And we've taken out the dark reds that we used before to brighten it up a little bit. Then we're going to go in with scarlet. I'm going to go over what I've already coloured and bring the scarlet in. I think I will go in with gel pen anyway, take out those black lines maybe, and then the dark cadmium orange, and we're just going to do the top. I'll go back over everything just for a little bit of difference. It won't make a huge difference to the berries, but just enough. And then go back over with it all. Alright, so let's do another one. So in with the deep red. I'm thoroughly enjoying colouring Christmas with you. So is there any books that you want to see coloured? That you'd be particularly interested in doing colour-alongs in, let me know. Otherwise I'll keep ploughing on and just picking pages and books that I'm really interested in doing. Because I've absolutely loved this page. And that's all it's about, isn't it, really? You know, this is a hobby. It's what we do for fun and relaxation. I don't know, some pages just really come together when you weren't expecting it. I started colouring in Benny Blue last night for you, and oh, it just went spectacularly wrong. So I've had to step away from it. Yes, there is a Christmas page in Benny Blue. You know, Christine Caron's Benny Blue. But I had to step away because I thought I'd got so far and filmed it, and then thought, oh, you know, I can't go back through all that again because I'd messed it up. I fluffed it. So we've got 2 more sets of the mushrooms to do. I am going to go off and do those and think about whether we're gold or silver, and obviously our little robin birdies. I've worked those out as well. And then, honestly, we're nearly there. I love it. I absolutely adore it. I hope you like it too. But yeah, it's actually gorgeous. Alright, see you in a second. Okay, little mushrooms done. So now we need to do our little robins, which I've got the colours ready. And this rope, I'm going to do like taffeta string, so it's going to be the same colour as the mushrooms. So if we come in, should we do the string first? Sorry about the wobble. Okay, so I'm just putting them in order. So I'm bringing in a little beaster just to add a bit more depth. Same colour as the mushroom base. We have got, I think that's the right way around, yeah. Bista, raw umber, warm grey 2 and the stubby little ivory. Alright, so I'm going in with Bista, and we're going to pick out some of the darker spots. I'm just going to make it look like sort of natural material that they've used to hang this little gold ornament on. There, so that's Bista. Then we're going to use raw umber. And I'm just doing this lightly. Then any areas we haven't filled in, we're going to use with the warm grey. Just so it looks more like a natural material. So I'm going to darken up this side because that's behind. I'm going to darken up that bit. I'm going back, so this is, I'm back in with Bista. And then back in with raw umber, really deepen up that side. And then the warm grey. Sorry about that, that was a big sigh, wasn't it? We might even add a little touch of walnut brown to this back edging. There we go. Okay, so now we've got our natural looking string, we've got our little robin. So, actually I want to come to this one so I can show you how I do the full thing, and he's in full view. So, our little robin, we're going to use the same colours as we used for the mushroom, for his chest, which is from lightest to darkest. Dark cadmium orange, scarlet and deep red. It's exactly the same as we used before. So I'm going to go round with the scarlet. And I've got a little picture of a robin up here, and they're actually very orangey red instead of red, if that makes any sense. But they are more orangey. Or the little robin that I've got up on my computer is. So I'm just going to come round with the scarlet, round his wing, what I'm thinking should be darkest, because that bit would be underneath his wing. Let's just deepen that up. That's a beautiful colour, I love this scarlet red. Okay, then we're going to go in with our... That wasn't scarlet red, sorry. That was deep red, sorry. Beautiful colour. Then we're going to go in with scarlet. So this starts the transition between the red and the orange. So I'm going to bring that in. Don't you just love how the polys blend? Because they layer over each other. They're seamless, it's just beautiful. Okay, bring that down a little further. Then we're going to go in with this gorgeous dark cadmium orange. Really pretty colour. And that's what we used for the top of our mushrooms. There we go. And I'm going to go over the whole thing and make sure everything's covered. Oops, gone over a little bit there. Let's get my faithful eraser, because that's going to be the palest of all our colours under there. Okay, so I'm just going to go back in and I'm making sure that where I want those deepest colours, they're there. Just the same combination as we used before, in the same order. Making sure all the little bits are filled in. There we have his big puffy red chest. What do you think? He's a little cutie, isn't he? Just fill all that in. There. Alright, now his head, tail and wing are browns. So I want to do it in the mushroom and the taffeta thing, if it's taffeta, what the word is. So I am going to bring in the walnut though. So we're going to use walnut brown. We're going to use, then the next one up we're going to use Vista. Then we're going to use raw umber. I'm going to try and keep them so you can see them all. Raw umber, and we're going to use warm grey 2, and we're going to use ivory. Alright, so the walnut brown, we're going to go around the base, around his eye, and cover up that black line. That's our walnut brown. And the bottom half of his wing is also quite dark, but I'm going to ignore those lines and just do it how I want to do it, because we can. So this is the walnut. So I've actually put quite a bit of walnut on there, but that's okay. There's walnut. Then we've got Vista again, another beautiful brown. I'll put that in. So I'm going back over again the colour that I've already laid down, and then bringing that out so it fades out. That's what helps to create that blend. Okay, then we've got raw umber. So much lighter brown. I'm going to do that really lightly because I'm going to introduce that grey. Oh, forgot about his little tail. Okay, then we're going to introduce our warm grey. And then down here, he is a different colour. So I'm just playing with what browns we've got left. What's that one? That might work. We'll try that. So we've got a little bit of burnt ochre. And I'm going to put that underneath him. I'm doing it very lightly. I don't want it, you know, too dark, but and then we're going to take our warm grey again and blend that in. I've gone over his walnut, a bit of walnut on his wings, so we'll put that back in. There. And we will use the, I'm going to sharpen it, we will use the burnt ochre for his beak. There. What do you think? I think he's as cute as. There. And then back in with that grey. Just there's a little bit of colour, but a little bit of difference in him. If I lift him up so you're not all, it's not all glary on the camera. There we are. I'm going to go in and just blend this a bit better. There we go. Alright. So, we've done our robins. Now I'm going to have to make a decision, aren't I? It's getting silly now. I'm thinking, because of the earthy, warm tones... Sorry, just drinking tea, that's nerves. I think we're going to go with gold. So, I've got the Pentel Dual Metallics, or I've got Jelly Roll Stardust, and I've got Link Shine. Shall we test those golds out and see which is the nicest gold? So this is the Link Shine gold. I'm doing it on my circle that I cut out earlier. Let's have a look. Okay, that's Link Shine. I'll pop it back in the bag so I don't mix them up. And then of course we've got the gorgeous Jelly Rolls. I think this one's gold. It's a different colour gold. You can't see because you're a mile away. This is Jelly Roll. Now there is another colour in here, but I think that's an orange. Let's try it just in case. Yeah, it's an orange. And then we've got, of course, the Pentel Dual Metallic Hybrids. Gorgeous, gorgeous pens. Let's have a look at that one. So as you can see, 3 very different golds, which is why I wanted to check. Not all golds are created equally, people. Now, as much as I love my Stardust and my Dual Metallics, for this project I'm liking the Link Shine more coppery gold, I think, for this page. Yeah. So I'm going to put the others away. And that's what we're going to use. So these are Link Shine Sparkle Glitter Gel Pens. They are really cheap on Amazon if you want some. And they work really well. They're nice and smooth, they run smoothly. So I want to, well, I want to go around this star for a start. So I'm going to take that gold. It's more of a coppery gold, but it will give us that warmth. I wanted. Do we like it? That chain back in. And the whole star actually is going to be gold. So we've got quite a limited palette, but now if I want to go back in and put that pattern in, I can, but we could choose a red, glittery red or something. Because I thought the gel pen would cover it, but it's not. So maybe we'd have to try another coat or something. I'm going to turn you round, just so I don't put my fingers in it. Now, I could have used watercolour paints. Got those gorgeous paints from the Art Spirits, but I want you all to be able to join in. Look at the sparkle on that, it's gorgeous. Okay, then we've got, oh, wrong way. Then we've got round the bow. I'm not going to bore you all making you watch me do all these little details. I'm really not, but I just want to do this with you. And then we will sticklerize it to death. I think what I'm going to do, instead of putting a little highlight on those berries, I actually think I'm going to put stickles on them. And then I'm wondering if we should splatter it or just count your blessings and leave it alone. Do you know what I mean? That you're happy with the page as it's turned out and not overwork it. Sometimes less is so much more, especially with me, because I fiddle and faff and ruin things. And I'm just so impressed that I managed to get this black background in without having to completely scrap the page. I have these bright ideas and then go in and do it, and without thinking about maybe photocopy the page beforehand and practice. And I didn't with this page, I just went straight in, which I've learnt the hard way over the years not to do. But I think that works beautifully, works really well. And that will dry more gold than orange. Okay, just have to turn it a bit more. So I'll colour this bit in. Then I'm going to go off and do the robins. And then we'll come back and do stickles together. Alright, my lovely friends, I'll think about that star because I thought this would colour it. I might get some of the Art Spirits paint and drop it in there because that's so opaque that that will cover that black in it. Yeah, but look at that on the bow. We can even put more stickles around the bow should we want to, just to make it even more shiny. Alright, I'm going to finish off the 3 birds exactly the same as we did that one, and I'll be back and we'll finish the page together. See you in a second. Okay, my lovelies, colouring finished. I'm not happy with the star or the glitter, so I used the same gel pen to do the sticks on the ornaments and the berries. But I want to address that star and the bow. I want more glitter. So I've got 2 glitter glues here. I've got my usual Stickles Gorgeous diamond. And then I've got Dovecraft, which is a cheaper brand. It's the only other colour. Well, I do have some Dovecrafts, but I rarely use them. I just like the clear one. So I'm going to use this gold to sort out that star. and I have tested it to make sure that it's not going to splat everywhere and ruin my page. So let's come in, and I just got to get comfortable. So I am going to run this gold around the edge of that star. I've got a little bit there, but I can cover it with black. That's fine. I just wanted more sparkle. It's Christmas. Right, and then I'm going to put it in the centre of this star. I'm going to put a big dollop and then I'm going to spread it out. Because I want to cover up those lines if I can. It'll take some time to dry. I'll have to leave the book open, but that's okay. So I've put that on quite thick, but I'm not worried about the page behind because this paper is like cardstock. There. Right, that's better. Now I've got the sparkle I wanted. Okay. I'm going to scrape that a little bit off. There we go. I'm going to go round the edge of the ribbon as well. I just want much more emphasis on the glitter. And I just wanted to finish the page with you, you know. It's nice when we've put something together to finish it together. And I fluffed that up. Hang on. I'm just going to take a bit of tissue and clean the nozzle off. There we go. See, and then my hands start shaking. So this fine detail work is really hard for me, but I do enjoy it. There we go. And it will make a huge difference because that shine is going to stand out against that matte black background and just look delicious. There, okay. Alright. So, I think you'll agree that's got a much better shine to it now. Got the little glittery bits have come off. Okay, right, berries. I'm going to take Stickles Diamond, and each of these, just check it's not going to ooze out all over the place. Each of these berries are going to get a little bit of sparkle on them. So I'm just putting a little drop in there and spreading it out. This is why I like diamond, because it doesn't cover the colour underneath, and every time you put it down, depending on the colour underneath, it changes how it looks, but doesn't change the pencil underneath. And I really like that about it. So I'm not going to switch the camera off, we're just going to chat for a minute. Yeah, so what I want you to tell me is if there are any Christmas books that you want to see. We've got the Christmasaurus, obviously, that we're going to do. Keep doing, rather. And you can't see what I'm doing, which is not very helpful. Yeah, so I've got, you know, like I say, dedicated Christmas books, and there is on my channel a playlist of Colour Christmas with me, so you'll know what books I had from last year and I've got a few new ones. I'm just going to turn it around so I don't put my hand in it all, because that's my usual trick. Oh, we've got some here, so let's do those first before we do this side. You can't see again. Not that it's very entertaining watching me squeeze some stickles on things, but you know. Yeah, so if you want to have a look at that, you can see what Christmas books I did last year. I think we did Jane F. Hankins' Christmas PDF book. We did Lizzie Mary Cullen's A Magical Christmas. We did John O'Brien. We did a little bit of calendar, and then we all got bored. And we got our books out instead. We did, what else did we do? Oh, we did Ruth Sanderson's A Magical Christmas. That's a gorgeous book. I loved colouring that. The three little mice and doing a Christmas carol behind a, oh sorry, in front of a big Christmas tree. So yeah, there's quite a bit. We did a lot last year. I'm hoping we'll do a lot this year. This is going to be a long video, I know, when I put this together, but because it's Christmas, I didn't want it to be in lots of parts. So you can watch it in segments or put me on and go to sleep. One of the two. But yeah, I wanted to do it all in one go, this page. Anyway, I was just enjoying the process so much, and I wanted to share that with you. Now I was going to do some white splatters on here of white paint, but now I've put the glitter on, I don't know whether that's sensible or not. Like Snowfall. There we go. So that's the berries done and the gold done, which I'm happier with than what I was. I put them in my little tub upside down. So let's turn the page around and have a look. So I would have to wait before I could do any splattering until that glitter's dry. But if we lift up now, those berries look like they've got a bit of like frosting on them. And it would be really nice to splatter it with white paint, but I'm not going to keep you any longer because I think this video is going to be really long, but I am thrilled to bits with this page. I love how it's come together. I like the fact that I was able to make the circle with just cutting out, which has now been used for all my colour combos, just cutting out a simple piece of paper folded in half and using that. Yeah, I'm really pleased. I may go in with some more stickles over that star just to cover up those lines, but I'm thrilled with it. But I do think when the glitter's dry that I will splatter it with some watered down acrylic paint. Put the template back on here so the paint doesn't go on here and this page, and then just splatter it. I think it will look quite effective. So I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. I've loved it, absolutely loved it. I don't know, it's the most comfortable I've felt colouring since I was, when I went off poorly. So absolutely incredible, really, really enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching, sticking with me if you have. Let me know about your colouring book choices, what you'd like to see on the channel, and I'll see what I can do. Anyway, I'm going to go and get in bed and rest. Thank you so much for joining me. So I'll let you go. Until I see you next time, take really, really good care of yourselves, guys. Night night.